So cybersecurity is part of the conversation on terrorism, and the question is, where do we stand today as Europeans in front of this kind of cyber attacks?
What we have been observing in the last years is that we saw more and more hybrid attacks from terrorists, and we have a lot of cyber attacks all over the day, not only from terrorists but also from criminals. And therefore we have to protect ourselves better. We have to make sure that our more and more digital services, especially in critical infrastructure, are investing more in auto-protection, in self-defense. We saw it, for example, recently in Ukraine, where the electricity network went down because of a cyber attack. That is not something that we want to see in Europe in future days, and therefore we have to make sure that the authorities of member states get the information about risks in the worldwide net, in IT infrastructures. And secondly, we have to make sure that key sectors that are critical in the European sense do invest enough to protect themselves. And we hope that we can pass the law in March or in April, so to make sure that from the 1st of January 2018, member states are obliged to do that, and to make sure that key sectors are investing there. There is still 2 years to go, but we have to take the time to get there. We wanted to do it earlier, but member states have to implement it.
Mm-hmm. From what we've heard during the seminar, security is up to each member state. Therefore, what about the member states that do not have the expertise or the experience to deal with such threats? What is the European Union doing to support these member states in order to prepare them for such incidents?
We have a working group of national network and information security authorities, where those who are interested and want to understand how it should be working get support, not only technical but also financial. We made sure that all member states that want to make sure that the European critical infrastructure will be protected adequately, that they have the means to do so. But in the end, it's member states' authorities that are in charge, and therefore the first call goes to the member states to install these authorities and to make them work.
Is there any engine to give some kind of support to these member states, or to evaluate their performance in terms of security?
I mean, we have the ENISA institution in Athens, in Crete. This is the European Network and Information Security Agency. They are working together with member states. They also have some funding programs to make sure that member states can achieve their goal. But in the end, here we are not talking so much about money. We are talking about member states obliging companies in key sectors like health, like transport, like aviation, like ports, to make sure that these companies, when they rely on IT structures, make sure that they are resilient and can defend themselves.
Lastly, what is your message to European citizens that are so worried from the sad experiences we had the last year?
I think we should try to work together. Member states in the European Union alone will not be able to cope with the challenge ahead. We have to do it together. And to do it together, we have to exchange information, we have to stick to our promises, and that means that we are in solidarity, that if there is a problem in the southern countries, that northern countries help. But if there are refugees are coming in the southern countries, that they take fingerprints, that they introduce the information into European systems, that there is a real exchange. It's obvious that we can be self-confident in Europe only if Europe acts together.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.